psychologically sound and stable mind would come to a conclusion that that specific material is nothing but sexually explicit.
It's bad enough that we have to deal with people coming in with guns and shooting our children down physically. All right, so in Dearborn, Michigan, apparently there's been some chaos or outrage at a school board meeting. The parents came to the school board meeting to voice their opinion about these books that are being pushed or that their students are being given access to that are clearly inappropriate. Okay, they're sexually explicit, and of course they're being pushed by the LGBTQ community. I just call them Alphabet Plus. I don't mean to be offensive. I can't remember all of those, but I'm starting to get it, which means that anything, if you put it in rotation long enough, I guess you'll get it. I think I got it that time. Anyway, the point is that they came and they voiced their outrage 2 different times. And when I first heard it, I thought, my usual spot is CNN, actually. That's one of the spots I go to. Let me go to see what CNN is about it. And I didn't see anything. And then I realized, okay, the top 4 guys at CNN, you're talking about Don Lemon, Anderson Cooper, Wolf Blitzer, and I forgot who the 4th was. Like, they wouldn't speak about that, would they? Because if they speak about it, they're going to speak about it in a biased way. Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper. Wolf Blitzer, I just don't like much. I've seen some things from him from 30 years ago. I have documented points and things that he said that makes me just not like him. I think he knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, the point is that these parents, they came to voice their outrage, and they're trying to say, oh, it's the Muslims, is the conservative. The point is that they were both Christians and Muslim parents that came together about this issue. And the reason why I'm bringing it up, because once again, is what we've been talking about. There is a so-called silence, but I will say a silenced majority who don't like these things, and they're starting to be more vocal and speak out against it. So there's these 3 books. I'm trying to remember them by name. I'm not going to say them. Should I say them? Because I don't like to give attention to things, and then people, it actually it makes it have more traction. But they're out in the news. So should I say them?
We'll just call them porn books.
Yes, that's what they are. They're explicit. They're sexually explicit books. The 3 books, which I'm not going to name right now, but I believe I'm going to do some type of critique on at least one of them, because when I downloaded the one and I looked at it, I said I wouldn't allow it was worse than 50 Shades of Grey. I didn't read 50 Shades of Grey, but from what I heard about 50 Shades of Grey.
How did you know that was worse?
Exactly. From what I heard, it was like a 50 Shades of Grey. From what I heard about 50 Shades of Grey, no, reality, it was terrible. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, like, they have legitimate concern to have these books, because all of us have been in school. You go to the library, school library, and you're allowed to pick whatever book you want. To have that book there, and they were saying that they're pushing it for 13-year-old and older, the book is available. And even one of the board members said that they realized that it may not be appropriate for certain grades. It's not appropriate for any grade, okay? So the point is, I went to CNN, couldn't find anything. And then, sure enough, I went to Fox, and Fox, they had people voicing their opinion. They had 2 different parents, okay? One parent was a Christian parent, which was the one who actually brought the subject to attention, brought the matter to attention to the rest of the parents, and she's been getting all kinds of death threats and things like that as a result. And then the other one, which was a Muslim parent, okay? Now, there is a 47% Arab American population in Dearborn, Michigan, okay? And many of them are Muslim, all right? So yes, you see, or once something like this is brought to their attention, they're going to voice their opinion. But I was happy to see that a Christian woman was the one who brought it to their attention, because reality is that if a Muslim would have done it, it would have been looked at in a different light, okay? So I just want to read some of what was said by this Michigan mother. Her name was Stephanie Butler. And she said that she's the one, of course, who originally sounded the alarm. And as a result, she's been facing all types of threats and, like this. So she said, I've had my Google business taken down. She said, I get prank phone calls calling me, and they call me a white Christian nationalist. They share fake stuff about me on Twitter. There's so much nonsense. Now I have people within my own community trying to discredit me and trying to call us this army mob of religious extremist parents who care about their kids and don't want them to be sexually glorified. I mean, isn't that any parents? The point of us putting our children in school is to make sure they get proper academic education, even education on some morality. But we didn't put them there to get corrupted. We consider it to be a safe zone, you know? Just like when the buses pull up and if anyone goes past the left side of the bus, the police will stop them and they'll get a ticket or maybe get thrown in jail because it's a safe zone. Just like when the cars go past, they have to slow down because if they ride too fast in that area, it's a safe zone. They'll be penalized. Everything about a school is supposed to be safe. It's bad enough that we have to deal with people coming in with guns and shooting our children down physically, but now they're trying to indoctrinate them with these materials and why the schools? Again, why the young children? We know why. Remind me to look up the Gay Manifesto. This manifesto, we're going to have to find it and read it because they talked about this in the 80s when they came together and made a choice that they were going to push this agenda. And I need to find it. I hope they didn't wipe it off of the internet because I had a copy of it 10 years ago and I lost it. I hope we can find it because this is all part of their agenda. This is what they said in the manifesto, and I read it personally. And it talked about taking control of the media, taking control of all media outlets, the news, and indoctrinating our children at a young age so that as they get older, the next generation will look at it as weird for someone to talk against this community instead of looking at weird for the community to exist. So I'm going to bring that as the proof. You make sure I find that, and we're going to talk about that. Because this was an agenda and they've handled their agenda so perfectly. But now it's getting to the point where you're giving innocent children access to these materials and it's corrupting, okay? So that's what that teacher or that parent said. The other parent that was on there made another good point that I wanted to share. That when they came to the meeting, that the board members, they knew that it was going to be an issue. They knew it was going to be a hot topic. So they had police there and everything. But the parents, they weren't concerned about that. They were concerned about their children. And everyone knows a parent concerned about their child is the most dangerous. Yes, you know, I mean, you know about the mom. Huh? Yeah, exactly. The mama bear. Yes. That's the one time Papa Bear get like Mama Bear. When we're talking about protecting our children, you know, we all know that situation about the mother who literally lifted the car up off her child enough for the child to move the car or whatever, like that instinct. So nobody cares about the police presence. And the good thing was that the police, they understood, so they didn't start attacking and locking people up and stuff because they were voicing legitimate concerns. All right. So anyway, he said, he said they knew that parents would show up. This is a very tight-knit community. Residents here are very passionate about the education of their kids, and they're going to attend meetings like this. He continued on saying, this is not about one side or another side. This is really about protecting the children, the purity of their minds. We're talking about 13-year-old children at the high school, and we want them to keep their minds pure and focused on math, science, technology, and other subjects. That's what really matters in their future, okay? So that's what we send them there for academics. It's to the point that the concept of the separation between church and state, which I've never agreed with, to be completely honest, but it's been totally ignored. But okay, if you put some religious morality along with academics, or some spiritual morality along with academics, that's fine. But you can't put this corruption in. How do you push this through? And we can't say anything about our beliefs, Christian, Muslim, whatever, because we're about academics in school. So how do you push this stuff through? So I've thought about this before. It's like they divided us because Jews, Christians, and Muslims have so many things in common. Spiritually, morality, foundation, fundamentals. They separated us and then they just slipped right in there with their own agenda and we're not supposed to say anything about it. Nope, not happening. The people are coming together. That's waking up. When you talk about waking up, when you talk about the woke crowd, it's us. We've been shaken awake, okay, by this foolishness, and we're the ones who are woke and are aware now. Our eyes are open and we're ready to get down to business.